My name is Jane, and I never imagined that one day I would be here telling this story out loud, like a confession, like I'm sitting in front of someone who finally listens to me without judgment. For a long time, I swallowed my tears, swallowed my shame, and pretended to be strong when in truth, I was shattered inside. Everything began when I still believed in simple love, the kind that promises to stay. I had plans, small dreams, but full of hope. I didn't know that life was about to test me in the cruelest way possible, exactly when I felt most vulnerable. When I found out I was pregnant, I felt a mix of fear and joy. My heart raced, my hands trembled, but there was something beautiful in that news. I imagined his face when I told him, imagined a hug, a nervous smile, maybe even tears. I rehearsed the words in front of the mirror, trying to control my emotions. But when I finally told him, silence was the most painful answer I had ever received. He looked at me as if I had just destroyed his life. There was no affection, no comfort, just a cold stare and a sentence that still echoes in my mind. This wasn't supposed to happen now. In the days that followed, he slowly pulled away. The messages became shorter, the meetings were postponed, the touch disappeared, until one day he left the house saying he needed to think, that he would be back later. I stayed waiting, staring at my phone, listening for any sound that might be the key turning in the door. But he never came back. He never explained. He never apologized. He simply vanished, as if I and the child I carried had never existed. That was when I truly understood what abandonment is, the kind that makes no noise but destroys everything inside. Pregnant and alone, I was forced to learn how to be strong. The nights were long, silent, and filled with cruel thoughts. I asked myself where I had gone wrong, what I could have done differently, why I wasn't enough for him to stay. I cried quietly, my hand on my belly, asking my baby for forgiveness for such a harsh world. There were days when fear was stronger than hope. Fear of not being able to provide, fear of not coping emotionally, fear of raising a child with absence as a legacy. Life did not make it easier. I worked exhausted, endured judgment, felt piercing stares. Some people saw me as a mistake, a failure, an example of what should never happen. There were days when I had to choose between paying a bill or buying better food. There were nights when loneliness was so heavy it felt like it was crushing my chest. And yet, something inside me refused to let me give up. Maybe it was the love growing inside my belly. Maybe it was the instinct to survive. I don't know. I only know that I kept going. It was when I least expected it that fate decided to change the course of my story. In a simple, ordinary situation, I met someone who saw beyond my pain. Someone who didn't run away when he learned about my pregnancy, who didn't treat me like a problem. For the first time in months, I felt seen as a woman, not as a mistake. That presence brought calm, conversation, and respect. I was still full of scars, full of fear, but I began to feel something I thought I would never feel again: hope. With time, I understood that the abandonment I experienced did not define my worth, that his absence made room for something much greater. When my son was born, I cried not only from emotion but from relief. I survived. I made it. I was there, whole, even after everything. By my side was not the man who abandoned me, but someone who chose to stay. Someone who held my hand without empty promises, only with presence. Today, when I look back, I understand that pain was the beginning of my transformation. I was abandoned while pregnant, yes. I was broken, judged, and alone. But I was also strong, resilient, and capable of starting over. Fate didn't give me the story I dreamed of, but it gave me a turn that taught me that not every abandonment is the end. Sometimes it's just life removing what doesn't belong, to make room for what truly deserves to stay.